Hi, my name is Iwona Kwiek and I am the president of Bardzo Ładnie Foundation. I would like to invite you to another webinar in a series titled Integration Through Culture. During each of the meetings, our chosen theme of Polish culture is explored by our guests, experts from Poland and Ireland. I would also like to remind you that Bardzo Ładnie is a non-for-profit organization. Therefore, all your support is very important to us. Find out more about us on our website and follow us on social media. More about Integration Through Culture project under hashtag ITC 2020.
Today it's all about film, and we'll have a closer look at the cinematography industry in Poland and in Ireland. We'll talk about two cities that are very close to our hearts here at the foundation. It's Łódź and Galway. And so both of the cities are designated UNESCO Cities of Film title. It means they are part of UNESCO Creative Cities Network. This network was created in 2004 and covers 7 creative fields: crafts and folk arts, media arts, film, design, gastronomy, literature, and music. So currently there is 18 cities of film, designated 18 cities of film in the world, and they work together with other creative cities in the network to realize a common objective, placing creativity at the heart of local engagement and prioritizing cross-border cultural collaboration. So today we will be joined by 3 guests from the institutions that support the cinematography in the Galway and Łódź. And just in a moment I will talk to Paweł Sołodki, which is a PhD scholar and a lecturer specializing in film and media studies. He is also in the collection department in the National Center for Film Culture. He will be joined by Wenancjusz Szuster, who is a member of Łódź Film Commission and production manager for many TV programs and award-winning films. And together they will tell us how cinematography and movie making supported in the city. With us today Will Fitzgerald. Will is an artistic director for Galway Film Fleadh Festival, and he will tell us the story of Galway's nomination for the City of Film, and also how his festival helps movie makers in Ireland. So, without further ado, let's hear. I will play a short clip about Łódź. It is, after all, even about the cinematography. Guys delivered some lovely visuals to show in our event. So let me play the clip and Paweł. Sorry. Okay, so enjoy. So that's hi, Paweł.
Hello, everybody.
So that's a beautiful spot about Łódź, and from this, what we were talking about earlier, Łódź, this year you're celebrating 75 years of filmmaking in Łódź, so obviously very long traditions. So if I can just pass it to you now, and if you could in a few minutes tell us why is it that Łódź became a UNESCO City of Movies. So over to you, Paweł.
Of course, that would be a task to make this long story short and pack it in few minutes to talk a little bit about film Łódź, or Holy Łódź, as we sometimes in Łódź call it. Aga mentioned about the 75th anniversary, so it would lead us back to the end of the Second World War, and Warsaw not being yet able to fulfill the task of standing for film production center, hence the Łódź not being so far away from Warsaw. And if I was to point three main fields why Łódź gained the title, I would say firstly about education, because Łódź Film School stands for being one of the most famous film schools in the world, but Łódź also offers many more places. Just to mention Academy of Fine Arts or Academy of Music. The both schools teaching students to be film professionals. There's also minor school, higher school of art and design, and speaking on more theoretical approach, the Department of Film History and Theory at the University of Łódź. And last but not least, educational activities of many entities, just to mention the National Center for Film Culture that I today represent. So education is one thing. The second thing is popularization, and we can think about Museum of Cinematography or the National Center for Film Culture, which prepares 3 big exhibitions now, and I'm about to talk about it later today. So I will skip it. Beside museums, there are film festivals. There were many of them. The number was changing over the years, but those like Synergia or Film Critic Festival, Camera Akcja, or Media in Danger, or outdoor summer screenings, Polówka, just stand for those festivals which were being in Łódź for many years. So that's the second field, and the third field is, of course, the production, and Opus Film, specializing in film production on a world level, especially in sound production, is one of the most famous ones. You might have heard about Opus Film regarding production of Ida or the Cold War, but those studios which have been with us since the very beginning were the feature film studios and educational film studio. On the other hand, Semaphore, which is no longer in work, being in a stand for a second, specializing in producing puppet animations for many decades. And of course, last but not least, the Łódź Film Commission, representing by Wenancjusz Szuster. Hello, Wenan. He will tell you a little bit more about it very, very soon. So the anniversaries, Aga mentioned at the beginning, the 75th anniversary of founding the Film Łódź, and the 3rd anniversary of Łódź being a member of Creative Cities Network are important for us. So at this point, I would like to greet Kasia Bienkiewicz, who was responsible for all this paperwork and all the works that were necessary to gain the title, and of course Rafał Syska, the director of the National Film Center for Film Culture, and all the entities, festivals, schools that I mentioned, which are of course the ones to be mentioned at least when talking about Film Łódź. So again, I think that's.
Could you? I was just interested because obviously we've got both Irish and Polish audience, so maybe we could tell them a little bit how it started with Łódź to become the movie center of Poland. So obviously you mentioned that after the war, Warsaw was destroyed, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, because you are the expert, but is it right to say that really Łódź started to be a movie center because of the film school, the Łódź Film School, and maybe just if we can tell a little bit.
Yeah. Yes and no. In the 1945, all Poland was destroyed, especially the capital, the Warsaw. So there was a need to start a film production, but not only film production, many cultural entities all over Poland, as fast as it was possible. And hence, Warsaw was still in the process of being rebuilt from the scratch, from the debris, which took over the role. So the studio, the feature film studio, Wytwórnia Filmów Fabularnych in Polish, was established soon after. So the 75th anniversary points that moment. Of course, Łódź Film School was established not so much later, but since the studio and the first Polish feature post-war film, The Forbidden Songs, a smashing hit back then, they together make the foundation myth, the foundation phenomenon, and the foundation brand of Łódź as a city of film.
Okay, great. I just find it very fascinating that it started so shortly after the war. When you think about this, how many things we have to rebuild in Poland, and that some art projects were actually put as priorities. Thank you, Paweł. As Paweł mentioned, we go back to you to explain more about the National Center for Film Culture work later. But I'm very curious, how was it that Galway got the designation as well? So again, we've got quite a few nice clips today. So I'll show the clip for Galway, and then we switch on to Will, who will tell us about cinematography in Galway. Thanks, Paweł, and see you in a few minutes again.
The objectives of City of Film: strengthening the creation, the production, distribution and enjoyment of film. As an art form, the public should have access to and participation in film. Participation in film.
We just got attacked by the creatures. We just got attacked by the creatures.
Just need all the techniques, survival techniques you can get.
Just need all the techniques, survival techniques you can get to make it.
Very out, you're very in all of us.
Very out, you're very in all of us.
You mean everything to me. You mean everything to me too, Dan.
You mean everything to me too.
To a world apart from where we are now.
You know, you barely hear cars. There's no sirens. There's not many people around.
When you're a scientist, the brain absolutely fascinates me.
I want him to operate. She said I want to give him the chance.
Just take me with you.
I wasn't sure you'd be back.
Does he know?
Film is never a commodity. We actually lose something in the world when it is seen only as that.
Hi Will, how are you doing?
Hi.
It's a beautiful spot with the, as always, very wise words from Martin D. Higgins. So William, if I could from you, so first of all, like William is, as I mentioned, creative director in the Film Fleadh, involved for many years in the development of movie industry in the Ireland. So if you could just shortly, especially for people who might not know Irish culture, background, quickly tell us about this, how Galway happened to be the film, the designation of City of Film. That would be amazing.
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, Galway won the designation just over 5 years ago. And I suppose we applied on the grounds that really there was a long history of filmmaking in Galway. At least, during the times where there have been films made in Ireland. For a long time, there wasn't really a film industry in Ireland to speak of. But some of the earliest films that were made here would have been made in the west of Ireland by American companies. So, going as far back as, the 30s, like Robert Flaherty's Man of Arran was made here. A lot of the early, films that were made in Ireland tend to be made in the west on the islands. There's sort of fascination around island life and islanders, with Robert Flaherty's Man of Arran being the most famous one. But then you had things like, in the 50s, John Huston made The Quiet Man here, one of the greatest classic Hollywood pictures of all time, and sort of, shot Maureen O'Hara to stardom as well as an Irish actress. So for a long time then after that, there wasn't an industry to speak of. But in the 80s, when Irish filmmakers started making films about Ireland that told Irish stories with Irish people, and that weren't American filmmakers coming in and telling their version of Ireland, putting their version of Ireland on the screen, that all took place in Galway as well. So filmmakers like Bob Quinn, he made the very first feature film in the Irish language that was called Pucheen. Filmmakers like Joe Comerford, who made Reefer and the Model, which is one of the first films shown at the Film Fleadh, the festival that I work for. So even as the Irish industry grew and production grew, and a lot of that production would have moved to Dublin and taken place at the capital, the west of Ireland and Galway in particular has always been the sort of font of the industry here. And we still have, there's, over 50 production companies that are based in the west of Ireland. There's a national Irish language broadcaster based here in the west of Ireland. 2 film schools based in Galway, the Galway Film Fleadh, of course, which we like to think of as, one of the, if not the leading festival in Ireland, and so much more. So for all those reasons, we made the bid, and thankfully we won the designation of City of Film. We were the 5th city, I believe, to get the designation.
Yeah, it was quite early on, isn't it? One of the earliest nominations. Yeah, that's fascinating. And when, I don't maybe seen that many of Irish movies, but it seems to be a lot of island focused movies when it comes to Irish productions.
Yeah,
and as you mentioned, yeah, and obviously the silent. as you mentioned, you obviously representing also Film Fleadh, and we've got another great trailer. So before we talk a little bit about the Film Fleadh and what you actually do in your day job, I'm gonna just play your beautiful trailer there as well. Oh, sorry, that's okay.
Any questions for the filmmaker?
For the light, for the right, and for the masters, oh, we come to be kind, to be warm here and after we've been out, but we're back, cause we're graced in these matters and we rise, and we did a little love, but we walk, we make a sound for the master, make a little call to the right, to the ball, to the mast top, and we fool around now and again. We're looking good, but just as friends. And this is our heyday, baby, and we're not gonna be afraid to shine, cause we can make our heyday and ain't that what it's all about? We fool around now and again. We're looking good, but just as friends. Cause this we're looking good, but just as friends. Cause this is our our heyday, baby. This is our heyday, baby. Yeah,
Wow, they beautiful trailers. It makes you
that would
miss cinema and
yeah, it feels
Galway
like
just
we got to
live, basically. Yeah, so Will, if you could just tell us a little bit about what the Galway Fleadh is about, and especially I'm especially interested in the how do you support the professionals, because there is a big part, obviously, of Film Fleadh supporting the professionals within the movie industry. So I'm gonna leave that to you for a few minutes.
So that was actually the 2019 trailer that we showed you, just because obviously 2020 was very much a different festival, having taken place completely online because of the pandemic. So what you saw kind of was a better representation of what normally happens here. Yeah, we take place in the Town Hall Theatre in Galway, which is our main venue every year. We would show about approximately 100 feature films, sometimes more, sometimes less. And probably a third of those would be new Irish features. The Film Fleadh was started because, as I mentioned when we were talking about Galway and filmmaking in the West, when in the late 80s, when Irish filmmakers started to tell Irish stories on film, there was no real platform at the time for them to exhibit their films to their peers here in Ireland and in Europe, and they wanted their films to be shown among their contemporaries, and that's why the Fleadh is the Irish word for a festival, by the way, or a feast. That's why the Fleadh was started for Irish filmmakers, and so still the festival is very filmmaker orientated. Our identity is kind of like the industry festival in Ireland. So as well as the festival and all those films, we also have a marketplace that takes place alongside the festival. You can see there a picture from our forum, which also takes place at the festival each year, where we talk about, it's sort of an address about all things happening in the industry, keynote speakers from Europe, the UK, and the US. We'll talk about, what's relevant, what's happening in the industry. The marketplace, as you can see there, is where filmmakers with projects in development take meetings with financiers, distributors, sales agents, and other decision makers. We would host about 700 meetings over the course of the week of the festival, where filmmakers pitch their projects. And then last year, we also started awarding a Best Marketplace Project Award at the marketplace. So the filmmakers who pitch the best idea that they have in development win €3,000 in funding towards the development of their project. So that's another nice incentive for filmmakers to pitch there. We also have, as well as the marketplace and the forum, we have things like our script pitching competition, which is another annual event where screenwriters, again with a project in development or just with an idea, give an elevator pitch for their project. So no more than 90 seconds. They pitch their idea, their script, or their documentary project to a panel of industry judges and to a live audience. We have 10 finalists, and again, the winner wins a €3,000 cash prize towards the development of that project. It's been a great way for filmmakers or just screenwriters, for if it's their first project, for them to get their foot in the door of the industry, or to meet producers. A lot of the participants, even if they don't win, have ended up getting their projects optioned by the producers in the room. So that's really great. Masterclasses always take place as part of the festival each year. So, this past year, again, it all took place online, but we had Nicole Hollop-Center, the screenwriter director, giving a talk on screenwriting. We had Joe Dante, who's a celebrated genre director, particularly for horror, giving a talk on directing. And we'll also have actors masterclasses. We've had amazing actors throughout the years. People like Peter O'Toole, Marissa Tomei. This year we had Keith Carradine, Ruth Nega, just an amazing caliber of people relating their experiences to new and emerging talent at the festival. And the festival is really, a lot of it is about new and emerging talent, and still keeping that original ethos of being a festival for filmmakers in mind. We think of it as a discovery place. It's particularly known as being a discovery place of new Irish talent on the international festival circuit. We had, in 2019, about 49, I think, festival programmers from other festivals around the world here at Galway. So a lot of them would be from international Irish festivals, like Irish Film London or the Boston Irish Film Festival and so on. But then a lot of them come from, Berlin, Sundance, South by Southwest and others, in Toronto in particular. The last few years, films that have premiered in Galway go on to show in Toronto in September. Lots of opportunities for particularly Irish, but also European, any new and emerging directors. It's a kind of a good place to showcase.
Good place to start if you start your
In
career.
By the way, we have 3 Oscar accredited short film categories in our shorts competition now. So the winners of our best live action short, our best animation short, and best documentary short go on to be shortlisted for the Oscars each year as well. So we're all about trying to springboard new talent onto the international circuit.
That's amazing. And you say that it's not only Irish, but also European new talent. So does this mean that, let's say the competition, you mentioned the script competition, can anyone enter that?
Yep, and one of the silver linings of the pandemic is actually that this past year it's been the most accessible it's ever been, because as I say, you would normally have to pitch your project in front of a room with an audience and with judges. But this year it took place online, so anyone could take part. I think all of our 10 finalists were still Irish at the end of the day this year, but it's open to the world, just as our marketplace. Again, we had, I think it was a smaller number of meetings this year, again, because of everything that happened. It was only about 600 meetings this year. But we had filmmakers from Europe, the UK, the USA, pitching their projects to decision makers, financiers, sales agents. And, you know, it's one of the sad parts of this past year is that people don't get to travel here to go as they normally would. But you know, it was also much more accessible as well. So that was a bonus.
I guess that's one silver lining of the lockdowns, that everything's a bit more accessible online. Thank you very much, William. That's very interesting. I actually have not realized how much support you're giving to especially young filmmakers in Galway Fleadh. If that's okay, I'm gonna move back to Łódź, and we talk about this, how Łódź supporting the filmmakers there. And obviously I've got another trailer, so we watch something again. Thank you very much, William. That was very interesting.
W Narodowym Centrum Kultury Filmowej w Łodzi nadal trwają prace nad naszymi 3 największymi superprodukcjami. Tą trylogią wystaw, czyli Kino Polonia, Mechaniczne Oko i Materia Kina. A czym byłby blockbuster bez dobrego teasera czy bez dobrego trailera? Przestrzeń, w której teraz się znajdujemy, jest właśnie trailerem naszych wystaw. NCKF Spot jest zapowiedzią tego, co prezentować będziemy na naszych głównych, najważniejszych wystawach w siedzibie EC1.
Każdy będzie mógł tu przyjść, obejrzeć piękne eksponaty, poczytać książki, obejrzeć filmy, spotkać się z gwiazdami. Zapraszamy do gościnnych progów Centrum Nauki i Techniki NCKF Spot.
Okay, so we're back with Łódź. Hello, Paweł again. So, as we mentioned, you're representing the National Center for the Film Culture. You're actually a curator, is that the right word to say there?
Excuse me, a curator?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm responsible for one of the exhibitions which were mentioned in the spot. And yeah, my role today is to represent the National Center for Film Culture.
So if you could tell us a little bit more about the work of the center, that would be amazing.
I will start with Will's speech. It was great to listen to him, especially about all the achievements. And National Center for Film Culture works a little bit differently regarding the film, because the film production is more of a thing of Łódź Film Commission. We, as the center, decided not to get in the way of the production and focus on some other fields, especially on exhibitions and educational activities and promotional activities. And as the spot showed, we are still in the process of spreading our wings, and it will take us a little bit more time to do it. The exhibitions are still in the productions. There is some kind of a schedule, so they will not be opened at once. Although all of them will be big. The first one is Kino Polonia, located on 3 floors, huge exhibition on the history of Polish cinema since the very roots, since the very beginning until contemporary time. So there is a lot of stories to tell, a lot of characters to present, and a lot of topics to elaborate on. Another exhibition, the second in the schedule, will be the Matter of Cinema, semi-exhibition, semi-game on producing a movie, obviously an interactive exhibition. So the guests will have a chance to play a role of a filmmaker, but not of a director, but in a way of playing a role of many different people who work and producing the film. So it's a kind of the mythologizing exhibition, paying attention to dozens or hundreds of thousands of people involved in making a movie. And the third exhibition, Mechanical Eye, that I am responsible for, is a exhibition on the changes in film technology since the late 19th century, optical toys, magic lanterns, and so on, through the 20th century and celluloid to the digitality. So we want to tell the story in a logics of reverse chronology, a kind of time travel for guests to move backwards to the very roots of what film, cinema, audiovisuality is today. There is also worth to mention numerous temporary exhibitions, like the one we made in this year regarding DC Comics. It was the biggest exhibition we've done yet. And besides that, we focus on many reconstruction activities. We reconstructed one of the first Polish cameras prior to Lumiere's kinematograph, invented by Polish inventor Kazimierz Pruszyński. So we reconstructed the camera, the very raw stock, very singular raw stock, and shoot with the camera and on the stock the first fiction Polish film from 1902. And so beside the exhibitions and those reconstruction activities, we focus also on education. We've got this project which been running for many years now, Histories of the Future. So we show to pupils, to students, 5 classics from Polish cinema, and then we think with them on expanding the film with one extra scene that could have been in the movie but actually didn't. And then the students and pupils shoot the scene with professional cinematographers, editors, and so on and so on. They make it on a professional level, so they can get a taste of what film production is in a way. So I would like to finish this speech with this project we are an operator of, which is called the Łódź Walk of Fame, kind of remaining the Los Angeles Walk of Fame with stars embedded in pavement. So we have it also in Łódź with people important for Polish cinema, actors, directors, people of film in many different fields. So we try to work on so many.
Yeah, that's so many propositions that you know, like everyone can find something for themselves. I am absolutely fascinated by what you say, that you managed to restore the camera that was even the Lumiere's one, which I wasn't aware that it was something prior to them. So
yeah,
I'm looking.
Lumiere brothers claimed that Pruszyński was the third Lumiere brother. Of course, they knew each other's inventions. Pruszyński was prior to them, but obviously less successful.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So then, if that's okay, we pass to Veno, who patiently waiting in the background, who works for Łódź Film Commission and the meet and greet of actual production. So if I just ask Veno to join us, and thank you, Paweł, for that. It was really interesting.
Hi, Aga. Can you hear me?
Very well. Thank you for waiting for your turn. So as I mentioned before, Veno is working for Łódź Film Commission. So that's where all the magic happens. And so should we start with the trailer, Veno, or do you want to say a few words first?
Can I ask you something? Can you stay visible on screen? Because it's I think it will be much better for me to talk to your image than my image.
Yeah, no problem. I can do that for you. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you
it's
mentioned,
always nicer to talk to someone else.
Yeah. It's better. It's easier. I'm not used to these webinars and stuff because this pandemic stuff is just this year's
new for all of us.
It's kind of new stuff. So as you mentioned, I work for the Film Commission, Łódź Film Commission, and the Łódź Film Fund. The Film Commission is operator of the fund. So this is like both combined together. And I worked there for all over a decade now. So it's more than 10 years. So as you know, I love my job. So that's why I'm still here. And before we play the promo, I would just add to your first discussion with Paweł something, because you asked him why film production was so important just after the war. If the whole country was demolished. And the answer is very simple, because the post-war trauma of the people were in a very big trauma, and what's the best way to entertain them? It's a film. You just need a projector and a piece of white cloth, and you can go from town to town, from village to village, gather people together. And they have this experience, and they have this love. This is why the Forbidden Songs, Zakazane Piosenki, was the war comedy. The people could laugh at Germans just after the war. So that was the reason why this film industry was such important. And they came to Łódź because, as Paweł mentioned, Łódź wasn't destroyed, and film needs locations, so they shot this film and other films in Łódź. And now, if you can please play this promo of our film commission, then I will tell you a little bit more.
No problem. There it is.
Ładny widok. Ładny.
Explosive, amazing, really. Vena, I think you need to unlock your mic. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I
didn't lock it. So
I did know. Because otherwise people
right.
hear us watching and there is a double sound. So that was
all right. So,
tell us all about how these movies came.
As you know, as you can see, we work on the. Oh, right. So you put this this thing, which may be interesting for our viewers. It's we made it for the 10th anniversary of Łódź Film Commission, which you can see on the left top corner. And this one is from Ida of Paweł Pawlikowski, and as you can see, this is like a picture-in-picture. You can see the wider image of today's Łódź and the screen from the film put into the image. So it's kind of tricky and interesting. I love it. As I told you, we are a film commission and a film fund. Film fund was established first in 2007. It was established in a city council, in a department of culture of the city council. And then in 2009, Film Commission, the initiator of this, and that was idea of Monika Głowacka, who is our chief up till now. So I'm not the first and the oldest member of the crew. Monika is. I'm the second one, and we have two more, Rafał and Marta, who joined us a little bit later, and they are still with us. And we are a crew of four. Fascinated by what we are doing because we are working strictly with the filmmakers. So it's not like any education or museums or preservation of the stuff, but we are just making films, and we love it. We are the pioneers on Polish
say about your work.
Sorry.
That's very good to say about your work.
Yeah. We are the pioneers because the Film Fund and the Film Commission were the first such organizations in Poland. Now there are the others. We have 10 more film funds in Poland, so there are 11, and we have, I think, 6 film commissions, so 7 with us. And the 8th is the one which is the Film Commission Poland, which is the central based in Warsaw, the big film commission. And what we do as a film commission, as a film fund, we simply co-finance films. We are, as EC1, the City of Culture that we are part of, we are the co-producers of the films. We moved from the city council because we wanted to be a co-producer, not a donator, because at first we gave donations to filmmakers. Now we give them we co-finance the film, and we become the co-producers of the films. And as a film commission, we just provide comprehensive and professional assistance to the production of the feature films, documentaries, animations, video clips, I don't know, corporate films, even sometimes the video games, like computer games, because they also film sometimes. And we also play a great role in promoting Łódź as the best place for, as you can see, this is in New York on the Roosevelt Street. This is in Marta Coolidge's film I'll Fund You, shot here by Americans. That was a great story because I could be on 3 sets, and one day that was this I'll Fund You made by Americans. There was another film set like maybe 1 or 2 kilometers from this by Israeli director. I forgot his name, but the name of the film was Past Life. That was serviced by Łódź-based Opus Film. And another one was the Wenancjusz Szuster's very last film, Powidoki, After Image. If you see this poster, this is from Andrew Wajda's After Image. So that we are a film city, so sometimes there are 3 big films on the streets of
is there
Łódź.
a lot of production from outside of Poland in Łódź? International
Yes,
production?
it's getting better right now. There's a shooting of the big film for the German company shoots here. The series called Friedrichstrasse Palace. The film, I don't know, it's about 2 sisters, 2 twin sisters, something. I don't know. I don't know if I can tell you more about that, but it's right in a shooting, and this is pandemic time, so it's a little bit slower now.
Yeah, of course.
But it will be better. There are some things that we are working on for another
What
year.
would you say is the biggest appeal for like the international crews to coming to Łódź? Why do you think they choosing to come to Łódź?
Especially locations and the money, because they are co-producing is very, very common in the modern world, especially for the European productions. Not so many Americans. Maybe some of the guys from India come here to Poland because they are looking for locations, especially not for the money. But European co-producing is very common at the moment. This is all about money because it's cheaper here. For example, thanks to our effort for the Film Commission, there is a 90% rebate for the filmmakers for hiring the public roads and squares and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's 90%. It's a lot if they need to shoot a lot. Yeah, it's because they have to shut the streets, shut the roads, and clean everything especially for historical movies. They need to clean all the elements that that are visible from these times. And we, as the Film Commission, we just support them in obtaining all the permits needed, and sometimes we coordinate the film crews if there are more than one at once, and we just try to make producers' life easy, and we just want to make them happy. And to come back to Łódź again, and thanks to this image of Łódź, that Łódź is film capital of Poland, and everyone knows it. I mean, the people, the normal people. So they're very pleased if they see the film crews on the streets. They are not like,
they used to it, I guess.
Yeah, they're used to it, and they like it. They are proud of being a film city, because everyone likes film, and in terms of promotion, our promotion is strictly how do you say? It's for the producers. Yeah, we promote our locations, our city, to the producers, straight to the producers, to the filmmakers, to the location managers, to the location scouts, to the set designers also. But then, if they shoot the film here, it's for the city is a great promotion. and as well, when they shoot, if it's not a secret, because sometimes it's a deep secret, we cannot say anything, but sometimes the producers are, okay, let's come, bring some media, local media to our set. We will show you everything. So this is for the people of Łódź and for the people of Poland. This is like a great promotion, and then when the film is on screen, it's also very good promotion, because and in my opinion, there's no promotion. There's not better promotion than promoting a city in a film. Yeah, and as you know, lots of big names, lots of hot directors, set designers, cinematographers are shooting, have shot and are shooting in Łódź. Paweł Pawlikowski, now we can see the image of the Paris apartment of the main character, Victor, who's laying here. This is you see how it looks like, and you can see the film. It's his apartment in Paris. So yeah. all the scenes indoors from Paris are were shot in Łódź.
Oh, really? So was how much of the Cold War was actually shot in Łódź? Was it entire movie? No.
And all the scenes indoors on locations, like the club they were dancing in, the like Eclipse was in a Grand Hotel of Łódź, and all on the indoors and the German, the first show of the team of the.
Do you think then maybe that's a good time to show another the short documentary that you have with for us, the other movie of Pawlikowski, Ida? Is that?
Yeah. So just for the last thing, I would like to tell that all the big directors, as well as Oscar-winning Ida, was shot in Łódź. Not entirely, of course, but most part.
So just before I play the movie, I just wanted to say that we should still have a few minutes left for any questions. So if anyone wants to type any questions in the chat, I will bring all guys together at the end of this movie, and we can have a short conversation.
We will just see one, this Ida reportage. It was also made.
Why won't we see one and then we see how the chat is going, and maybe we have a sweet surprise at the end as well. That's okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna play Ida now.
Yeah, enjoy.
Ja w Łodzi na pewno widzę jednak ogromny potencjał w tych filmach historycznych, albo nawet może nie historycznych, ale gdzieś w filmach, które potrzebują miejsc z jakimś takim niesamowitym klimatem, nastrojem, czegoś, co w Warszawie już gdzieś tam zostało, być może na Pradze i gdzieś tam ginie, a w Łodzi to ciągle jest. No Łódź to jest jak miasto filmowe. Wydaje mi się, że kręci tam się też dość dużo, że miasto też jest przyzwyczajone do tego, że jakoś współpracuje z twórcami i właśnie z filmowcami. W Lidzie szukaliśmy takich właśnie skrawków, tak jak budowaliśmy te nasze kadry dość precyzyjnie, kamera była nieruchoma. I w tej Łodzi jeszcze dawało się znaleźć takie jakieś fragmenty, gdzie ta rzeczywistość pozostała niewzruszona, albo dzięki lekkim adaptacjom można było stworzyć właśnie ten świat z tamtych lat. Fantastyczne miejsce, ten Lajkonik, którego w tej chwili już nie ma na ulicy Żgowskiej, tak, też wspaniałe miejsce właśnie tam, gdzie była właśnie impreza właśnie Dancing, gdzie tutaj Wanda pije alkohol. Ja studiowałem w Łodzi, gdzieś ten świat właśnie tych wszystkich kamienic, ten taki właśnie, ja to zawsze śmiałem się, nazywałem łodzizm, który był taki wszechobecny w tych naszych smutnych etiudach, właśnie ten taki świat tej patyny, tych właśnie obdrapanych ścian. No niestety zaczyna to gdzieś powoli zanikać i coraz trudniej jest to znaleźć, a wydaje mi się, że gdzieś jest to na wagę złota, bo tak jak się patrzy i za granicą, i u nas w Polsce, ten świat zanika.
Czy potrafią Państwo wymienić jakieś tytuły filmów, które były realizowane w Łodzi?
Ziemia obiecana.
Ida, komisarz Aleks. Nie wiem, coś mi świta z Aleksem, bo on się kręci w całej Łodzi.
No Ida, no tutaj u nas Ida była kręcona i myśmy na wystawie mieli właśnie różne rzeczy przygotowane i przez parę sekund jest pokazany nasz zakład.
To jest strasznie ważne i dobre, że są takie fundusze i właśnie jest taki fundusz filmowy, który po pierwsze ściąga twórców do Łodzi, gdzie możemy realizować zdjęcia, że jest właśnie takie miejsce jak Łódź, gdzie naprawdę można wiele fantastycznych lokalizacji znaleźć, no i gdzieś tam zdobyć kolejne dodatkowe pieniądze na film, co powoduje, że gdzieś tam film może być lepszy, no bo im więcej jest gdzieś tam pieniędzy na film, tym film ten może być po prostu lepszy, no i bogatszy. No a Łódź jest naprawdę strasznie gdzieś tam w lokację bogatym miejscem i myślę, że trzeba to wykorzystywać.
I'll just bring maybe Will and Paweł to us back, and if there are any questions, please feel free, and so you can all see each other finally all together. Hello again. So. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, please put it in a chat box, and I will pass it to voice. And I don't know, maybe just if you have any reflection, what do you think that being a city of film meant for the Łódź and Galway, just overall? I don't know who would like to maybe start on that. If you have any thoughts about this. What does it mean for your cities?
I should actually just mention for any filmmakers watching from Galway or filmmakers who make short content to put online. The first trailer that we saw from Galway about the City of Film office just showed some of the opportunities that they have available for filmmakers, like the 48-hour film challenge or the 1 Minute Film Festival is something that you can enter from anywhere. They run a number of schemes just to give filmmakers the opportunity to exhibit their work. That's not our work at the festival. It's the Galway Film Centre who runs the Galway City of Film office. So again, that first trailer that we saw just showed some of the opportunities they have available if anyone watching is interested.
Paweł, any thoughts about this? Like, what do you think it means for Łódź to be called the city of film? Obviously, it's official recognition of the importance of Łódź.
I think the networking thing part is important in constituting this network of creative cities. Because we, on our own, as I said, are conducting numerous actions, but that's not the point of being just by ourselves. The point of being in a UNESCO network is to meet with other cities, with representatives of other cities of films, and to share our ideas. So I guess what we are doing now and other such actions are the point of being UNESCO, I think.
For sure. It's great opportunities to connect with basically cities around the world, because it's worth to mention that the UNESCO network is not only in Europe.
Yeah, I first became aware of Łódź actually through another city of film. Before the lockdown, I had traveled to Yamagata city of film, and there was a Japanese filmmaker who was showing his short at the festival, who had attended the Łódź Film School, and he gave a presentation all about Łódź and how wonderful it was, and the film infrastructure there. So it's great to learn more about it from you guys this evening, because I've just been hearing all about it since last October.
We should meet one day during the Film Fleadh festival.
Yes.
Film Fleadh, yeah, that's the best place, to connect and to make networking, because this thing with the cameras and stuff, it's not as nice,
It's a stopgap solution. That was the question that Andy had here, which is Andy is from Galway. Hello, and he is asking, are there any plans for closer collaboration between Galway and Łódź? And it looks like we all have plans already now. Hopefully this year in Fleadh can be, not this year, sorry, next year, 20.
Hopefully soon it will be possible to organize big events and festivals.
Them as well. So
Finland talked a lot about co-production, and again, the marketplace of the Fleadh, we try to foster as much co-production as possible. So hopefully, one of these days, a filmmaker will pitch a project that will, require both city, Ireland and Poland to work together. That would be great.
Or you can just
like to have, we've had one Polish retrospective already here at the Fleadh just a few years ago, so we might have to wait a few years to have another one. But we try where possible. There's obviously a big Polish community here, so we try to showcase as much Polish cinema as possible. It was great to see the clips from Cold War, actually, because we had the Irish premiere here 2 years ago, I think, when that film came out. Really well received. Just a beautiful, beautiful film.
Yeah, we could organize some Polish film screenings in Galway. Because we, as a co-producer, we have a right to show this to the public in case of promotion of the city, and it must be free of charge. So it would be even better for the viewers.
Of course, that's good to know from a programmer's perspective. Yeah.
And Alan, who is actually from Galway City of Film, just put in a chat that if anyone wants the updates about the UNESCO Cities of Film, there is a designated website. So any news and the events are there. I'm not sure, do we have any other questions? So maybe just before I say goodbye, I thank you for that, guys. It was really amazing. And I will keep in my calendar that we are meeting in Galway next year. I will try to play the film one more time. And if there is a problem with sound, I think what I will do, I will play without the sound, because we've got subtitles and the visuals are beautiful itself, that I think it's worth to watch it even without the sound, but just with the subtitles and the And
one more thing for the end, we also invite you guys to come to Łódź, and whenever you come, just don't hesitate to call us. We can tell you, you, William, and others who watch us, we can tell you what to see and where to go, because we know Łódź very well. And we know all the hints. We will give you all the hints what you have to see.
Be careful.
Not typical tourist things.
Sounds good.
There's flights that were allowed from Ireland. There will be all to Łódź. We have 30 people.
It's the best place to quarantine after you land.
What can you do?
Okay, guys. So I'm just gonna say thank you once again, and we're gonna wrap on that.